And welcome back, everybody. We are celebrating the Alabama National Championship. What is this number, like 8 or 9?
12. Well, yeah, 9 in the modern era.
9, okay.
There's some in the 30s we're counting. It's
yeah,
12.
Well, yeah, count them all, man.
Sure.
You can take them all when you can get them. And I have been, I think I've told you this, I've been up in the press box at Alabama. And
nice.
Not everybody can go, of course, but it's like being in a museum. It is so cool. I kind of look at Alabama football kind of like UK basketball.
Sure.
You know, the same realm. All right, we're talking about the AT&T situation in Hopkinsville and the fact that franchise is going, or whatever they call it, is going to a vote before the city council on Monday. My conversation today, we were talking about the fact that Senator Pendleton held a press conference and basically in support of AT&T, and they're coming to town. I have to say, and saying that he couldn't believe that the city was approaching this the way it was. And after it was over with, I called him. I said, "Do you realize that AT&T putting this in will eliminate us, you know, WKAG?" I said, "You know, no more local news, no more local sports, you know, weather or whatever, none of it." And he said, "No." He said, I didn't know that. I mean, he was quite surprised. And Joey's a friend of the show and friend of the station. And so he said, "Let me make some calls. Maybe we can find out more about this." So he did, and he called me back and he said, "Well, they said AT&T, how big is AT&T? It's like one of the biggest company. It's bigger than the rest of the world combined." Or something.
Well, that's why there's a globe on the front. So
right, there you go.
Yeah.
And he said, "They're going to put you on maybe if they can work out some technical issues." When if AT&T cannot work out the technical issues, who can?
Yeah.
Well, the technical issue is the super regional head end they use in Nashville.
Right. Yeah. And that's what I told you know, you were talking about not regulation, but how things are, and everybody I talked to today, whether it be regulatory or whatever, they said, "Well, why wouldn't they include you?" I said, "Because in the world that we've lived in, cable and satellite and all that, those types of things are regulated. Mm-hmm. Congress says when you go into Hopkinsville, Kentucky, you know, there are certain rules and regulations, and if you meet them, you're on cable."
There's a whole bureaucratic organization done.
Yes, there is.
You as a broadcaster know that more so than even us as the Federal Communications Commission. And they've said if a competing provider wants a franchise, you got 90 days to give it to them.
Exactly.
So why not? Why not get one?
And it's no cost to them. And I think the paper, and I don't want to be quoting wrong here, but they do not want to report to anybody.
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
Well,
that doesn't make any sense to me.
My whole thing was, you know, I've dealt with cable companies like anything else. You have the good and the bad.
Sure.
Yes,
okay. Like broadcasters, you have the good and the bad. And I've dealt with for 15 years, and 5 in particular. I was president of the national organization for smaller TV stations. And I dealt with a lot of cable companies that were snakes in the grass, you know, and who would tell you things. And I'm not saying AT&T is that, but I'm saying when somebody says, "We're going to do something if," you know, maybe not. So
my background, I came from Comcast. I was a regional director.
Big cable.
Big, #1 in the country, I believe.
Okay.
I came from Comcast. And I hope that the citizens of Hopkinsville need to understand something. When I worked with Comcast, I ran 3 states and had 7 systems.
So you were ready to relax and you came to Hopkinsville.
Yes, I was. I said, "Boy, this is nice small town, friendly people. This will be great. This will be great."
No AT&T there.
Yeah, but the reason I left Comcast and I came with New Wave because New Wave has a business philosophy. We believe in investing in small towns, all the technology that the Nashvilles of the world and the Pittsburghs of the world have, and they believe in local management, local commitment, and you will not get that from anybody else. I don't care. I mean, I work for Comcast, and I can tell you that the city the size of Hopkinsville, we would not give you the time of day. You might get 3 technicians. You might get a payment center that we might open 3 or 4 hours a day, but that would be it. You're not big enough for us to deal with.
And that's what they had prior to. I just want to throw that in there.
That's what you had prior to it. I'm not going to talk about the previous guy here, but that's what you had.
I will.
You had 3 technicians. You had a couple ladies in the office, and if one of them was on vacation, we closed for lunch.
Yeah.
And that's what you had before. And now you have this brand new facility. We answer calls locally. You have local management. I'm there every day. And you know what? Here's my email address once again, larry.hoyle@newwavecom.com. I give it out. I put it on all these blogs you see on the internet these days.
And other people put it out
and other people put it out for me, and that's fine. But you know what? What's interestingly enough, I mean, there's a blog in Hoptown. I forget what it's called.
Yeah.
And They kept talking and talking. I finally went on there myself. I'm a member of it, and I blogged on there, and I put my email address, and I said, I can't discuss all the issues on here. Here's my email address. Send me an email. I haven't got one.
Yeah.
If you got a complaint, send me an email.
Well,
I don't know about it.
It's easy for people to get in anonymous situations and complain.
That's right.
And then when
You've
call
experienced
them out,
it.
I've
Because
experienced
you're on that
Yeah.
same blog.
Yeah, I have been. All right, let's take a break. We'll be back. Larry, the cable guy's here, along with Steve, the national champion. What do they call them? Pachyderms or?
That'd be Crimson Tide.
Well, what's the deal with the elephant? Where did the elephant come from?
I have no idea. I can tell you the Crimson Tide story. I have no idea about the
Well,
elephant.
they got an elephant down there too. And we'll be back right after this.